Hello, lovelies, my people. Happy holidays. We thank God for making it possible that we have seen another brighter new day. We say thanks to Him. Okay, without wasting time, I keep thanking you all for your consistency in following up, watching our videos. May God continue to bless you. Please, if this is your first time of watching, help us by hitting on the red subscribe button and also the notification bell. By so doing, whenever we make a new video, you will be among the first people to get the notification. Thank you all for being with us and commenting. That empowers us to do the more. Okay, really, this is just a short video, and I'm gonna attack what I call the secret of SOWORE'S release. This video is all about the elongation of SOWORE'S detention by the DSS authority, which everybody knows the secret behind it, because DSS cannot do it on their own. We have the executive, the presidency, whom the award stands as the final say in as much as this country, Nigeria, is concerned. However, SOWORE was released yesterday, but a lot of people have been surprised why. Why some people are saying is for him to just go and celebrate Christmas with his family and he's gonna be rearrested. But I'm telling you that it's a man past man. Even though Bulgaria and the cabals are as strong as what you may think about, they do not respect the rule of law. My brother, is not when the world power has, indicated interest in a particular matter. The video I'm going to tag now, I think, is the secret for the immediate release of OMOYELE SOWORE. His wife is a citizen of the United States of America. His children are citizens of the United States of America. And you know that the United States of America is a country that do not play with their citizens. The government even love and value their citizens more than government itself. So, unlike our own country, that our government, they are selfish, they love themselves more than even the citizens. They don't even care. Look at how they hold down, pin down a citizen. This cannot happen in the United States of America because they value, the least of their, citizens. And you will watch this video and laugh because everybody knows who passed him, who is more powerful than him. Everybody knows who he cannot say no to his or her order. That is exactly what happened here, and that is the secret of OMOYELE. Because for the United States of America to have come up, you watch this video yourself, watch this man talk, you will see that they are not playing. Look at him here and SOWORE'S wife. You see that the America, they does not pay. When they come up, they even promise that they're gonna do it till SOWORE is back to United States of America. They are gonna to follow it up. They frown at it. I think that was the major reason for the presidency to order the DSS, forget about the judge, whatever, because they don't respect the rule of law. So they know that United States of America, having said that they will now look at their relationship with Nigeria if this guy is not released to join his family for this festive period. So, guys, I think no matter how strong one hardened, strong, mean, and difficult one thinks he is, there is somebody he respects. There's somebody he fears. So they think they are fearless, and they have had the voice of whom they cannot do without, and they cannot fight. So the New York City intervened through OMOYELE's wife and in fact family. because they are citizens. They said you can't pin down and hold the parents of United States of America citizen. Just look at what they're saying. The parents of, not even the citizen. So guys, watch this video. I'm gonna tag. Oh, meeting.
New Jersey is watching, the United States is watching, and the world is watching. I fear that the blatant harassment of Mr. Soare and activists and journalists whose only crime appears to be exercising his right to free expression is becoming symptomatic of increasingly closing political and civic space in Nigeria. The Nigerian court had twice ordered his release on bail, and the state security agencies openly defied the court order each time, leading me to conclude either that Nigeria no longer respects the rule of law, or President Buhari is woefully out of touch with what agents of his government are doing in his name. This is unacceptable in a country that calls itself a democracy. Please join us. I'm sorry, we have time constraints, so we started, but this is Mrs. Opayemi Soare. The court had twice ordered his release on bail, and the state security openly defied the court order each time, leading me to conclude that Nigeria is no longer respecting the rule of law, or President Buhari is woefully out of touch with what agents of his government are doing in his name. This is unacceptable in a country that calls itself a democracy. Freedom of the press is a fundamental pillar of democracy and an indispensable check on government overreach. Journalists who risk their lives to expose the truth should be celebrated, not incarcerated. Over 200 years ago, our founding fathers had the foresight to recognize the importance of a free press to a fledgling democracy, enshrining it in our First Amendment. Today, that importance cannot be overstated. It is unacceptable to treat the husband and father of a U.S. citizen with such blatant cruelty. So we stand here with a family who is devastated by the uncertainty that these actions have caused. Today, my office contacted our ambassador in Nigeria in an effort to obtain answers about what actions the United States is taking on the Soare family's behalf. In the next several days, I'll continue to engage with the State Department in Washington to ascertain the impact that the rearrest of Mr. Soare and the detention of other activists and journalists will have on our relationship with Nigeria. My hope is that the bilateral relationship we have with Nigeria will be reassessed in light of these events. Mr. Soare needs to be free, and he needs to be free now. The rule of law must be observed, and that means he should be liberated. With that, I invite Mrs. Soare to say a few remarks.
Thank you. After over 125 days of my husband being in detention illegally, he was finally set free yesterday. He got to speak to myself and the children. For the first time, they got to see his eyes when they spoke to him, when we FaceTimed with him. I haven't told them yet that he was rearrested. I am truly shaken to my core at what I witnessed this morning. I was woken up at 4 a.m. to see what I can only call truly outrageous and a gross disregard for the rule of law. My husband was strangled and forcefully removed from the courtroom. The judge had to run and hide for her own safety. How do I tell my children who, after 125 days, have for the very first time spoken to their dad and seen his face, that he is again in detention and he may not be coming home for Christmas? How do they understand this, and how do they, where do they go from here? How do they understand this? My 10-year-old has on his Christmas list, one of the things he wants is for his dad to be home for Christmas. Christmas is only a few days away. What do I tell him when I leave here and get home?
Mr. Soare only seems to be having any difficulties because he's a journalist, actively pursuing the right as a journalist, speaking freely about what's happening in Nigeria. He is an activist and publisher of a U.S.-based Sahara Reporters newspaper, and we're going to continue to press until he's not only released, but he ultimately has the opportunity to leave Nigeria and be reunited with his family. We're happy to answer a couple of questions.
Again, ma'am, sorry for everything that's going on. Again, you said that you saw the video of him being pained again and all. Again, what went through your mind when you saw this?
I started physically shaking. The first thing that came out of my mouth is my children. How do I tell my children? I am truly afraid for his life, and at this point, I believe the only way to bring him home is with the help of the United States. And I can't say how grateful I am to not be at this alone. Sitting in my room this morning at 4 a.m., I truly felt helpless. But knowing that Senator Menendez is here supporting me and that he's helping to engage the U.S. government gives me hope that my husband will be home soon.
Anyone else?
Hi, how are you doing?
Good.
I just question maybe first for you, Ms. Soare. Can you just walk me through a little bit of how did you find out about what had happened in the courtroom and was from different sources? Just talk a little bit about that, what you first heard about, and then go from there.
Sure. At 4 in the morning, a really dear friend of mine called. She didn't want me to wake up to the news. And like I said, when she told me about what happened, I started physically shaking and thinking about my children. I was briefed by my husband's cousin, who was present in the courtroom, as well as some of his friends, as to what was happening. I think what scares me the most about what happened is what I've heard is in the history of Nigeria, I don't think that the DSS has gone into a courtroom armed with weapons, masked, and put not only the life of my husband at risk, but the life of many lawyers, as well as the judge who also works for the government. So it is a show of lawlessness, a show that the rule of law is not being followed here and not being respected. And not only did his lawyer speak out against what was happening, the judge also spoke out against what was happening in the courtroom today. And like I said, I truly am afraid for his life.
The judge actually commented while the arrest or after the arrest took place?
At the very beginning, the judge did comment on what was happening and spoke about this is not the place or time. And again, she gave them 24 hours to the point that Senator Menendez made a second ago. They have detained him for over 125 days on 2 separate occasions, once on September 24th and then on October 4th. Judges have ordered his release, and the Nigerian government has ignored those and has been in clear violation of the orders for him to be released. So after giving them 24 hours, they let him out for 12 hours and then rearrest him when the court was adjourned to February. That's scary. That's really scary that they would do that with guns and masks and choke him and physically hurt him right there with cameras going and people watching in front of a judge. It just, again, shakes me to my core.
Anyone else?
Sorry, both of you, could you talk about, did you find out what charges they slapped on him? New ones? Or they still haven't said anything?
Well, my understanding is not a question of new charges, a question that the state security came in and intervened in a judicial process which had liberated him and physically, through a chokehold, dragged him off. This is in violation not only of the rule of law and of the dictates of the court, it's in violation of the basic elements of human rights that we seek to observe globally, that are part of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights that Nigeria, I believe, is a signatory to. And so the government has to intercede here and get control of its security forces. It has to ultimately make sure that the dictates of the courts are observed. And if not, then there is lawlessness. So this is on, from my perspective, it's on the government of Nigeria and its president to make sure that, in fact, the law is observed. He was released by court orders. He should be released. He should be out of harm's way. And we are watching. We will continue to press. And the consequences of anything happening to Mr. Soare will be far beyond any harm that comes to him. There will be consequences in our relationship with Nigeria. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Yes, my people, you can see it yourself. This is exactly the secret for his immediate release. Though the UN, CNN has said something, the UN is also aware, the international community also, his lawyer, and a lot of groups in Nigeria have also given their own ultimatum that they should release OMOYELE. But I think among all those things, they turn deaf ears. But the only one that hurt them, that put them in great confusion, because they cannot fight United States of America, of course. They have no power to, fight them, because they run to that place. Most of their, whatever are there. So they can fight them. That is exactly what I want. Please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to share. Share to others, please, to watch and to subscribe. As you do this, may God Almighty continue to bless you and promote your own business as you promote mine. In the mighty name of our Lord Jesus Christ, I pray. I pray that you be alive and strong to meet the new year, 2020, and you shall be blessed in it also. You shall be blessed in it, in the country, in the city, that whatever you ask of shall be granted unto you. Please, friends, please, my lovely ones, please, my people, do well by sharing this video to your friends and well-wishers. Let them subscribe. By so doing, you promote our YouTube channel. God bless you. We'll see in the next video. Thank you and bye.